So the developers just increased the ammo prices for some items on 4.0, and this player wrote a post, which I think is bad feedback, and a lot of players agree with that bad feedback. So let me read you parts of the post. This is going to be very important for advising new players trying to get some traction. Bunker missions was always something that people advised as a starter ship could get you there, but we need to be careful now. In 4.0, buying 1,000 rounds for a basic rifle like the P4 will set you back 10,000 credits, more than the early missions payout. This, alongside the quantum fuel range cuts and cost increases, is going to make early missions completely unviable for new players unless mission rewards are increased significantly. However, we haven't seen that yet. Early indications are that CIG are not balancing in a coordinated fashion again. And I think all of that feedback is wrong. Because I think it makes pretty bad assumptions, but I don't think it's the post author's fault for having those assumptions. Okay, he makes several assumptions. The first one is that he's concerned about new players. It says here, make early missions completely unviable for new players unless mission rewards are increased significantly. And the other thing is that he considers the P4 a basic rifle, implying that it shouldn't cost as much, or the ammo shouldn't cost as much. Now, let's consider here what he's saying. And I think the underlying problem is that, and that's the game's fault, it's not the player's fault, most of the core gameplay hasn't been fun for the last 10 years. So players consider the core gameplay, the things you do between accepting a mission and getting the payout for the mission, as some type of chore you have to get over with. And here's a problem. If only the end of the mission is fun, the credits payout, that's an unfulfilling emotional high. That only gives you happiness for 5 or 10 seconds. And then you get bored after that. Then you have to play the mission again. Again, you do the chore, get the payout. And you keep repeating that. And the natural tendency of a player is to reduce the chore or make it get over with faster, so they get faster to that ever-diminishing small payout high. And that's why everybody keeps complaining about mission payout, because the core gameplay isn't fun. And the second assumption is that a new player is only having fun if he's having a fair game and he's getting a certain amount of payout for a certain amount of time played. I think that's also a bad assumption to have. Because if you look at, if the game would be more fun, like the core substance of the game, then the payout wouldn't matter as much. And if the developers make ammo more expensive, that will make all gameplay systems more fun, because you have to engage in some decisions that you have to make, like which type of weapon to get, which type of ammo to get, so you can fulfill a certain mission. And currently the ammo price is so cheap that those decisions don't matter. Because if you can afford a weapon or any weapon you want for low price, and you can clear out an entire ship or location with 20 enemies inside, then you didn't make any important decisions. And he talks about the P4 being a basic rifle. Now, is it really a basic rifle, or is it the gold standard combat weapon that can basically do anything you want without any real drawbacks? It has a 30-round magazine, and if you're an experienced shooter, you can probably take out an enemy with 3 to 5 shots. So let's say you can take out 6 or 7 enemies with 1 magazine of it, in a bunker, for example. Now, the moment you kill another character, you own the entire body. You literally can take the entire body, ragdoll it into your ship, and then pluck apart the pieces for loot. And you can pile your entire ship full of that stuff. Okay, so you get 7 corpses worth of loot, the entire armor, all the ammo they're carrying, all the weapons they're carrying, all the medical items and everything else they're carrying, just for the price of 1 magazine of a rifle. And that obviously leads to players having everything they want, no important decisions to make because they got loads of money and can afford any item they want. Now, if the ammo prices go up and you have to fight for things to get them, then you will value them more and you'll have more fun acquiring them. And also, I think 3 or 4 years ago, I'm not sure how long ago, I wrote a post on the forums claiming that medical items in Star Citizen should cost 50 times more than they cost now. And I think some of that feedback may have gotten through to the developers, I think. What I basically did, I looked at the cost of medical items in Escape from Tarkov, and I calculated how much it would cost the player to heal 100% of his health up. How much it would cost to buy from a trader. And then I compared it to the cost in Star Citizen. And that's how I came up with the number that medical items in Star Citizen, instead of a medical stick costing 100 credits, it should cost about 5,000 credits. I'd like to show you two games that should prove what I'm saying here. So, for example, the first one is DayZ. Look at DayZ. Now, the current play numbers in DayZ is about 22,000 concurrent players. And that's currently at the low end. It's currently, I'm recording this video in about early in the morning, Germany. And you can see here the global player numbers. They usually peak in the evening, German time, and they're at the lowest point at 7, 8 a.m. in German time. And in DayZ, the new player doesn't get easy payouts. Nobody gets an easy payout. If you want to have great loot, you have to go to the Northwest Airfield, and you have no guarantee of actually getting there in one piece. And even if you get there, you might not get the best loot. So nothing is fair in this game. You have to work hard for everything. And this game has ever increasing player numbers since about 2017, 2018. Because in DayZ, everything is hard to get, so you can cherish everything you find. Like in DayZ, if you find a shotgun with 3 shells in it, and it's not jammed, you feel like you have something valuable. Now, if you play Star Citizen, if you're playing a bunker mission, will finding one gun excite you? You can probably, in theory, carry out 20 different rifles per bunker mission if you want to. And the other game is Project Sunlight. It has almost exactly the same player numbers as DayZ, which is interesting. About 20 at the low end and about 50, 60,000. Oh wait, it's actually lower here. It's 34,000. And again, in those games, nothing is guaranteed, and you don't get a guaranteed payout for the things you do because the gameplay itself is engaging. So you have to really work hard to get something that resembles a payout. Because in those games, you don't have missions. You basically just survive for yourself. So the payout is acquiring more stuff and your character not dying. Now, some people often say that those are not high player numbers, but I think they're pretty high player numbers. Because if you look at DayZ, having 50,000 concurrent players, that's, I think, number 31 in the top 50 played games on Steam. And those are the most played games on PC on the planet. There's some exceptions. Maybe there's some MMO games, like, I'm not sure which ones, that don't run on Steam that probably have similar player numbers, like Counter-Strike. But having 50,000 concurrent players, that's a pretty big number. And I think Star Citizen, that's entirely my guess, currently doesn't have more than 4,000 or 5,000 concurrent players. Only when they release a huge, big patch or something, or there's big news for the game, I think it spikes to 20,000, 30,000, and then goes down to the low 4 digits. Because if Star Citizen would have, let's say, 20, 30 thousand concurrent players every day, then they would show it up in the launcher. Because most MMOs do that, have you noticed? They show the player counts in the launcher somewhere in the game menu. But Star Citizen doesn't do that. They show you every metric that's important to give you confidence in the game. Like how much money they made, what they're working on. But the player numbers are never shown in Star Citizen. So yeah, that's why I made this post, because I think that's pretty bad feedback. Because that type of feedback, it tries to keep the game easy, like you're playing it with cheat codes on.